Why do I feel so empty? The truth about narcissistic abuse. You're not crazy. It's narcissistic abuse. Here's how to break free. You know the heavy feeling in your chest, that constant weight pressing down on you. Like no matter what you do, it's never enough. You try so hard to please them, but they always find fault. And deep inside you wonder, am I really this broken? It's exhausting, isn't it? Pretending everything's okay when it's not. Smiling through the pain because showing vulnerability only makes things worse. Maybe you feel like you are living in a fog, disconnected from yourself, unsure of what's real anymore. Does any of this sound familiar? If you're nodding along right now, let me tell you something important. You're not alone. So many people have walked the same path, including me. This isn't just life. It's abuse. And today we are going to talk about how to break free. Let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do anything wrong because you know they pounce on you? They twist your words, divide reality, and make you question your own sanity. You're too sensitive, they say. Or that never happened. Or my personal favorite, you're imagining things. This isn't just criticism. It's called gaslighting. It's a deliberate tactic used to destabilize you, to make you doubt yourself. Over time, it chips away at your confidence until you don't trust your own mind anymore. And then there's the money. Are they controlling your finances? Withholding your funds? Demanding receipts, sabotaging your job opportunities? That's financial abuse. And it's all about power. They want you dependent, trapped, powerless. You start living paycheck to paycheck, not because you can't manage money, but because they have taken control of it. What about your friends and family? Have they isolated you? Made you feel guilty for spending time with anyone else? About your loved ones or created drama to drive a wedge between you? Isolation is another common tactic. By cutting you off from your support network, they ensure you rely solely on them. It leaves you feeling disconnected, alone, and utterly helpless. But here's the truth. It's not you. None of this is your fault. You didn't cause this. You couldn't have prevented it. No matter what they have told you. None of this has anything to do with who you are as a person. Think about it. How often have you sacrificed your dreams, your ambitions, your happiness, all to make them happy? You put their needs first, hoping it would finally be enough. But no matter how much you gave, it was never enough. Why? Because it wasn't about you. It was about their emptiness, their insecurity, their inability to connect with others without taking. I've seen it time and time again in my work with survivors of narcissistic abuse. So many people come to me feeling like they have completely lost themselves. They describe becoming a shadow of who they once were, constantly trying to fit into an impossible mold created by their abuser. Their passion fades, their confidence crumbles, and they no longer recognize the person staring back at them in the mirror. It's heartbreaking, but it's also something we can heal from. You're not alone in this experience. Together, we'll work on rediscovering that vibrant, confident individual you used to be and building an even stronger version of yourself moving forward. Do you remember the last time you felt truly alive? Truly happy? For me, those memories felt like they belonged to someone else. Someone stronger, brighter, Freer, someone I thought I would never see again. The guilt weighed heavily on me. I convinced myself that if I worked harder, tried harder, loved harder, maybe they would change. But the more I gave, the less I got in return until one day I realized they weren't going to change. Why does someone treat you this way? What could possibly justify such cruelty? Here's the hard truth. People like this are deeply insecure. They are empty shells trying to fill a void inside themselves with your attention, with your energy, your love. But no amount of love will ever fill that void. It's bottomless. Their behavior isn't about you. It's about their need to feel superior, their lack of empathy, their inability to form genuine connections. They manipulate and hurt others because it makes them feel powerful. It distracts them from their own pain. But guess what? That's their problem, not yours. The truth about narcissistic abuse. It's not about you. It's about their emptiness. It's about their inability to connect with you. It's about their need to control. You're not the problem. You are the victim. If you are thinking, but someone like me or you seems so strong, so independent, how could someone like us end up in this situation? Let me stop you right there. Many of my clients had similar thoughts about themselves. They've been told they are smart, capable, resilient. They believe they were immune to manipulation. What is the truth? Danger doesn't always come in the form of a big, scary wolf. Sometimes it comes disguised as a sheep, and that's even harder to spot. At first, it's subtle, little comments here and there, criticism disguised as concern. Slowly but surely, their self-esteem begins to erode. Their opinions are dismissed, their feelings invalidated, and their reality questioned. Before they know it, their entire world revolves around the abuser. They become anxious, exhausted, and desperate for approval. For years, many of them blame themselves for everything. They think, if only I try harder, loved more, did better. But then, through therapy and education, they discover the truth. This isn't about them, it's about the abuser's sickness. There was a time when some of my clients honestly didn't think they would survive. They came to me feeling completely isolated. No friends, no job, no money. They felt like they were drowning in despair. But deep down, something inside them refused to give up. That's when they began researching narcissistic personality disorder. They read about gaslighting, manipulation, control tactics, and suddenly it all clicked. It was like a light bulb went off in their heads. They realized the abuser's behavior wasn't about them. It was about abusers' insecurities. Once they understood that, everything changed. They started setting boundaries, small ones at first, like saying no to unreasonable requests, then bigger ones like limiting contact with the abuser, and eventually cutting them off completely. Healing isn't linear, but every small step brought them closer to freedom. And now looking back, I can confidently say, you can heal. Oh, let's talk about boundaries. A boundary is simply a line you draw in the sand. It's a way of saying, this is what I'm willing to accept and this is what I'm not. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-care. Start small, practicing saying no to things that drain you. Take time for yourself when you need it. If they call late at night, tell them you're sleeping, or better yet, turn off your phone. Block them if you have to. Protect your peace at all costs. Remember, you're not obligated to meet their demands. You deserve respect. You deserve happiness. And yes, it might feel scary at first. After all, you have spent so long putting their needs before your own. But trust me, once you start prioritizing yourself, you'll never look back. You have wasted so much time in your life already. Lost years, missed opportunities, and those moments you could have spent with your parents or loved ones. How much more time do you want to waste this way? People around you won't understand what you have gone through. They don't know how much you have sacrificed. Do you still want to stay stuck? Or is it time to make a change? Let's talk and take the first step towards knowing yourself today. I know it can be overwhelming to take the first step, but you don't have to do it alone. I specialize in helping people break free from narcissistic abuse and reclaim their lives. Whether it's through therapy, coaching, or community support, there are resources available to guide you every step of the way. Call at the number given in the channel description or fill out the form for session appointment today for tools and resources designed specifically for survivors like you. Together, we will create a roadmap to healing, one small victory at a time. Don't wait another day. Every moment you spend under their control is a moment stolen from your life. You deserve better. You deserve joy. You deserve freedom. My team is waiting to help you, and I'm here, ready to walk this journey with you. Don't let fear hold you back. You're stronger than you think. You're braver than you believe. You are worth fighting for. So call now. For yourself, for the future you deserve. Because deep down, you already know you are wonderful, you are beautiful, you are a light that will shine again. Let's make it happen together. Ready to take that next step? Press the join button to highlight your comment and become part of our supportive community dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse heal and thrive. A big thank you to all those who have already joined our monthly membership. Your commitment inspires us every day. Remember, as a valued member, your comments will feature a special icon and will respond in depth to each one. Together, we rise stronger. Join us now. Remember, you can and you will heal. Just start today. Thank you.